For 60 years, Chicago O'Hare was the airport that mattered in America. The busiest airport on Earth from 1963 to 1998. The home of American Airlines, the home of United Airlines, the place where every corporate connection through the Midwest happened, the airport that built the modern hub-and-spoke system. When aviation executives talked about the crown jewel of American aviation, they meant O'Hare. Then something quiet happened. Between 2020 and 2024, a completely different airport quietly overtook O'Hare in almost every metric that matters. Passenger volume, growth rate, United hub priority, domestic destinations, growth trajectory. That airport was Denver. For 4 straight years, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, Denver International was the 3rd busiest airport in the United States. Chicago O'Hare was 4th. Denver overtook Chicago as United Airlines' single largest hub by daily flights. United built more gates in Denver than at any of its hubs. Passenger traffic grew nearly 19% above pre-pandemic levels, while O'Hare barely broke even with 2019. Then Chicago fought back, and by 2025, the ranking flipped again. This is the story of the biggest airport rivalry in modern American aviation, one that got so aggressive the Federal Aviation Administration had to step in and cap flights at Chicago. This is how Denver almost took the crown, and how Chicago is spending $12 billion to keep it.
Let me give you the numbers that frame everything. For 4 straight years, Denver was America's 3rd busiest airport. In 2024, Denver moved 82.4 million passengers. Chicago O'Hare moved about 80 million. Denver's growth had been so sustained that United Airlines actually admitted publicly what everyone in the industry already knew. Denver had become their most important operational hub, their fastest growing hub, their largest hub by daily flights. Then in 2025, O'Hare grew about 6%. Denver stayed nearly flat, and Chicago retook 3rd place, 84.8 million passengers versus Denver's 82.4 million. For 2025 alone, O'Hare was also the world's busiest airport by aircraft movements, 860,015 takeoffs and landings, more than Atlanta, more than Beijing, more than any airport on Earth. But here's why Chicago's comeback matters less than it looks. Chicago is fighting for 3rd place at maximum effort, while Denver is coasting. Denver has more room to grow, more land available, more infrastructure being built. Chicago is at capacity limits so severe the FAA had to cap flights. The question that runs through this entire story is, which airport is actually winning? And once you understand what happened between 2020 and 2026, the answer is not what most people would expect.
Here's why this matters more than just airport rankings. United Airlines is headquartered in Chicago. Their history is in Chicago. Their operational nerve center is in Chicago. And for 60 years, O'Hare was called United's home hub. But United's fastest growing operation isn't in Chicago, it's in Denver. United has invested nearly $1 billion in Denver since 2021. They now operate 90 gates there, the most of any airline at any single airport in America. They fly to 22 international destinations from Denver, more than any airline has ever operated in the city's history. They added Rome in 2025. They have 4 United clubs at Denver, a Polaris lounge in design. At the same time, in Chicago, United is fighting an all-out war with American Airlines just to protect the gates they already have. American announced 100 new daily O'Hare departures. United had to add flights just to match. In May 2026, the FAA imposed a hard cap, no more than 2,708 flights per day at Chicago O'Hare. The cap was extended through October 2027. United CEO Scott Kirby put it directly on the January 2026 earnings call. In 2026, we're drawing a line in the sand. We are not going to allow them to win a single gate at our expense in Chicago. That's the tone, that's the war, and it's the exact opposite of what's happening in Denver, where United can grow freely, add gates without a fight, and expand every year. Denver International Airport opened on February 28, 1995. At the time, it was considered one of the most controversial airport projects in American history. 16 months late, $4.8 billion over budget. Famous for its automated baggage system that never worked properly and became a nationwide joke. Denver was mocked as a boondoggle. 30 years later, Denver is the largest airport in North America by land area, nearly 54 square miles, larger than the entire island of Manhattan.
When the pandemic hit in 2020, three things happened in Denver that nobody predicted, and those three things changed the map of American aviation forever. The pandemic devastated Chicago, it devastated San Francisco, it devastated New York. All three cities lost population, lost business travel, and lost premium corporate traffic. Their airports followed. Denver had a different experience. Colorado's economy weathered the pandemic better than most states. Remote workers moved to Denver. Domestic leisure travel to the mountains exploded. And, critically, United Airlines needed a hub that wasn't struggling. They picked Denver. In late 2020, Denver quietly overtook O'Hare as United's busiest hub by flights and by seats. Denver had more United passengers than Chicago, more daily departures, more growth capacity. United poured investment into Denver. Frontier Airlines, headquartered in Denver, expanded rapidly. Southwest Airlines runs its largest single operation anywhere at Denver, 40 gates and 170 daily departures. The three-airline structure at Denver became something Chicago couldn't match. United, Frontier, and Southwest, all fighting for market share simultaneously. Meanwhile, at O'Hare, United and American ran a duopoly. But without a third growing airline, the O'Hare model was slower, more constrained, more traditional. By 2023, Denver was the third busiest airport in America. By 2024, Denver had passed 82 million passengers, an all-time record. It was the fastest-growing major airport in the entire United States by percentage above pre-pandemic levels, up 19% above 2019. Chicago O'Hare was still trying to catch up to its own 2019 peak. Then, Chicago decided to fight back. American Airlines had been slowly shrinking at O'Hare for years, building up Sunbelt hubs instead. But in late 2025, American announced 100 new daily O'Hare departures, targeting about 500 daily flights by summer 2026, a one-third increase aimed directly at United. United responded immediately. Kirby said publicly they would add whatever flights were necessary to keep their gate count at O'Hare. American pushed back harder. The result was chaos. Combined published schedules for summer 2026 hit more than 3,080 daily operations at O'Hare, a 15% jump over 2025's peak, a level the airport simply cannot physically handle. Fewer than 60% of O'Hare flights were departing on time. The FAA stepped in. On May 17, 2026, they imposed a hard cap, no more than 2,708 operations per day at O'Hare. The Federal Register order specifically named United and American as the parties causing scheduling chaos. The cap was extended through October 2027 to allow airfield construction to continue. American was projected to cut only 40 flights per day. United was projected to cut about 200 flights per day. The FAA cap hit United harder because United had the most aggressive expansion planned. And that's the moment Chicago's counterattack became real. Because O'Hare's growth in 2024 and 2025, that 8.3% jump followed by another 6%, was driven by both airlines pushing capacity to maximum limits, even beyond what the airport could physically absorb. That's how Chicago retook third place, not by winning strategically, but by both airlines flooding the airport with flights the FAA had to cap. By 2025, Chicago was back on top. But at what cost? Underneath everything else is a physical problem Chicago cannot solve. The Weather Channel published a 10-year study in November 2025 that ranked every major U.S. airport by weather delays. Chicago O'Hare was #1, more weather delays than any airport in America, averaging over 25,000 weather delays per year. When an incoming flight to O'Hare is delayed, there's roughly a 50% chance the cause is weather. Chicago sees 28 snow days per year, 38 thunderstorm days, 13 fog days. Midwest weather systems move west to east, which means flights into O'Hare from the east side of the country regularly hit storm walls they can't route around. Denver has weather too, but 6 well-spaced runways designed for simultaneous operations mean Denver handles storms far better than O'Hare's tightly packed airfield configuration. This is why airlines are quietly reassessing which hubs deserve the biggest investment. Every dollar invested at O'Hare has to account for weather-driven cancellations that don't happen at Denver. Every gate at O'Hare is worth less than a gate at Denver because of delay probability. This is the structural constraint driving the strategic shift. Denver isn't just bigger and newer, Denver is more reliable.
Before I wrap, the honest version. Chicago is not dying. O'Hare is the most connected airport in the United States. 214 domestic destinations on its busiest day. It's the 7th most internationally connected airport in the world. American Airlines and United together operate more international flights out of O'Hare than any other U.S. airport handles combined. Chicago is still, on measures of global connectivity and international breadth, larger than Denver. Denver is not permanently on top. The 2025 ranking flip is real. If Chicago maintains its 2024-2025 growth pace and Denver stays flat, ORD's lead will widen. And Colorado's population growth actually slowed in 2025 to just 0.4%, the state's lowest rate since 1989. Denver, the city, actually shrunk slightly, so the Mountain West population boom story is not the full explanation for Denver's aviation rise. The real story is more specific. Denver isn't growing because Denver is exploding. Denver is growing because it's the last major U.S. airport with actual land capacity, because United sees it as strategic infrastructure for the next 20 years, because it can accommodate growth Chicago physically cannot. That's a structural advantage that lasts even when population growth slows.
For 60 years, Chicago O'Hare was the airport that defined American aviation. Then, between 2021 and 2024, Denver quietly took the crown. Chicago fought back and retook third place in 2025, but the fight itself, the airline war, the FAA cap, the weather problem, revealed what the industry already knew. Chicago is at maximum capacity. Denver has room to grow. Both airports are spending billions, but Denver is upgrading capacity that already exists. Chicago is fighting physical constraints that keep getting worse. By 2030, if the pattern holds, Denver will pass 100 million passengers. The crown might swing back and forth for a few years, but the direction is clear. The map of American aviation is being redrawn, from the industrial Midwest that built the hub-and-spoke era toward the Mountain West that will define the era after. And the airport once mocked as a boondoggle is now the one United Airlines is betting billions on for the next 20 years. That's a shift bigger than any route announcement. That's a shift in the geography of American aviation itself. If you want more of these, the airport stories nobody else is covering, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next gate.